Yo, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to Taee TV. In my video, I'm going to be reacting to Kayla Parrilla. I don't want to mispronounce her last name, but this is her story of how she went from 0 to 1 million at 22. Let's get into this video.
My mental resilience is, I know that no matter what I feel, I can always pray, and I have mental resilience that I pray God gives me. And I always tell myself, I should never let myself get too deep in the negative self-talk, because once you're down in a hole, it's really hard to get out that hole. Today, I'm gonna be pretty much giving you guys details about my personal life, which is kind of weird because I don't know you and you're like a stranger, but you know, screw it, who cares? You guys need to hear this story because it's very crazy. And I feel like a lot of you guys can benefit from hearing such a story on how I went from 0 to 1 million at 22 years old. And this could possibly open up a new door for some of you guys that is watching this literally right now. Let's just jump right into it, guys. Craziest part about this was that I used to work a job at the mall, and I worked at a sneaker store. It was called Kids Foot Locker. And I was actually a cashier earning $7.25 an hour. Now, I wanted to ask you a real question. Do you think that at 18 or 19 years old, you could survive off of $7.25 an hour in today's world? No. So that's exactly what I was making. And I was doing part-time too. And I will never forget, like ever forget, when I first got my first paycheck. That thing said $67. And I'm like, mom, grandma, look, I got my first paycheck. And they're like, Kayla, congratulations, you're in the real world now. And I'm like, why is there so much deductions? They're like, you know, taxes, things like that. Don't worry, you know, a couple of years, you'll have a nice, you know, 401k or whatever, the traditional BS that your parents feed you.
Of course.
I was just so shocked that I worked so hard just to earn that little amount of money and then have all these things deducted out of it. So I just felt robbed. And I eventually quit that job. And the reason why I quit that job is simply because I did not like getting told what to do in certain manners. And I fully believe in good work environments. And I just don't really like getting told what to do. I'm very sensitive. And I remember my manager told me one day, like, you're not talking loud enough. You need to speak up. And I'm just like, my face got hot. I just felt like humiliated. Like, damn, I'm trying my best and my voice is too low. And now look, I'm shouting on the camera because I found my voice. So thank him for that. But I don't like to get told what to do. I guess that makes me maybe a little bit rebellious, but I like listening to people that have good tone. Sometimes it's not about what you say, it's how you say it. And I'm a firm believer in that, you know? And especially when people are on the come up in their growth, it's important to talk to them in, you know, nice ways and nice manners. So, you know, next, I did quit my job. I didn't like getting told what to do. And after that, I ended up picking up another job. Insane, right? I said, you know what? I'm not going out without a fight. I'm about to get me another job. And I became an aftercare counselor. But during this time of my life, I have to admit, mental health, guys, if you're watching this, take your mental health serious.
Mental health it's very crucial. And I was going through... Mental health is very important. That's why you got to make sure you take care of your like self and you like stay like prayed up and you don't like watch no like garbage, and you basically are just protecting your mind. It was such a rough time. I felt like I hit rock bottom. I had a lot of drama going on, a lot of heartbreak, and this is not like a time in my life where like I'm broke. I'm just starting college. I have so much schoolwork. I'm trying to work a job and get money. And I would be at work, and even if I just checked my phone for like 2 seconds and I make sure that my little class was like doing their homework and on point, if I got a text from one of my friends and I just checked my phone, I used to work with another employee that was like pretty much like my partner. And these people would take this girl, I don't remember her name, but she took a picture of me one day and she sent it to our supervisors, and she's like, she's on her phone. I'm just like, I don't even talk to you, I don't bother you, and you felt the need to take a picture of me. Like, girl, I'm literally losing my mind about to pull my hair out, but I'm keeping my composure because I'm at work. And during that time of my life, guys, when I tell you, I felt like shit every single day. And I knew that I hit a mentally rock bottom point. When I told my mom one day, I'm like, Mom, I know you're dropping me off to work, but I'm not getting good thoughts. And I've never ever felt like that
ever
thoughts.
before. And
I'm
my mental
glad
resilience
that
is,
she's
I know that no matter
being
what I feel, I can
transparent.
always pray. And I have mental resilience that I pray God gives me. And I always tell myself, I should never let myself get too deep in the negative self-talk, because once you're down in a hole, it's really hard to get out that hole.
Right, and once you're like, and what she's saying is true, like once you're like down in the like hole, it's like it's really hard to get out. That's why you got to stay prayed up. It was a time when I was at like rock bottom, and just like her, it was a time where I was feeling like shit every day, but things is better, and God turned my life around. I'm thankful, and I'm grateful being at rock bottom, and feeling just like that. It's not fun at all.
And I was not feeling the best. And once I got negative thoughts, I had really negative thoughts. I don't want to say it. And I just felt like completely like shit. Like, you ever just feel like shit? Like everybody turned their back on you. Your friends are, being fake. You're getting your heart broken. You're going through a lot. You have no money. And you're just like, damn, when will this life stuff get better? Like, we've all hit a rock bottom point that we feel, and some of you guys might be at this rock bottom point right now, and you feel like your back is against the wall and nothing, you don't know what it's gonna take to change. And that's what I felt in my spirit, in my soul. And I'm like, look, I've never had a thought like this before. I've never felt so down before. And I'm not gonna allow myself to go down this rabbit hole, because I know if I do, I will never, it will take me a long time to come out, and I don't know what can really happen. So fast forward, I decided to pull myself out of that hole, but it wasn't easy. Before, I left this second job, because I had a partner that I used to work with, and they were kind of like a snitch on the job. Mind you, all the kids, they loved me, and they were super sweet. Like, I love working with kids, like people, family, children. Like, I have so much patience for it, so I really did enjoy my job. But because of my coworker kind of like creating that type of little drama, our supervisor's like, hey, we don't appreciate you checking your phone or whatever. And you have two options. You can either quit, or we can fire you, and you will never be able to work for the city of Pembroke Pines again. And I'm like, well, damn, what if I want to be mayor one day, or run for senator, like, Caleb Perla, 2034, like, what if I'll never be able to run for my own city again, or work for my own city again, just in case if I wanted to in the future? No, I couldn't. So I had to quit my job. But the most important part here was that before I quit my job, guys, I was scrolling on Instagram one day, and this is where I'll play. I was scrolling on Instagram one day, and I see my friend designing like a shirt on a computer, and I'm like, wow, I freaking think that I can do that. Like, I'm a good artistic person. I love to do arts and crafts. I've been on arts and crafts shows as a child in high school. Like, I'm a very talented person in multiple ways, and you probably are too. You just don't really tap into your talents, because after high school, school, we kind of just like forget about the things that we like to do and enjoyed as a child, and we just start focusing on all the adult shit, paying bills, working, drinking, getting married, and meeting people, right? Dating. Like, we kind of forget our true like loves and talents for things. So I decided that after scrolling on Instagram and seeing my friend design like things on a computer, I'm like, wow, I can do that too. And I actually got a computer gifted to me after I graduated high school, thanks to my dad. He got me a computer, and I said, you know what? This is like $1,000 computer. I'm not gonna let this purchase go to waste. I'm not gonna let this MacBook computer sit in front of me and I'm just gonna watch Netflix on it. Like, I told myself, I'm not gonna fucking do that. Like, there's no way that I'm gonna sit here and let this 4-figure computer go to waste. So I opened up my computer, right? And I started designing and playing around a little bit. And I realized, okay, I can get the hang of this. But instantly, I dashed the computer. I said, fuck it, I can't do this. This is too hard.
She couldn't do it.
I quit. I wasn't trying to do nothing. I'm like, hey, I could probably start a business. I could start a clothing brand. I could start designing for people, right? And because it was too hard, I just quit. I'm like, I don't want to do this. And then, I kid you not, 2 months later, I just had something just came over me. And this is why I strongly believe in God. Something told me, pick up that damn computer and start designing. Just start.
A strong feeling came over her and tell her to pick up that computer and start the designing, and that was God. She listened and now she's in a much better position. I'm glad that she did it.
Pick up the computer and start designing. Fuck how you feel, Kayla. Do it and master. And from that point on, I was not hooked onto Netflix. I was hooked into personally developing myself. And I started researching the law of attraction. And this is all while I had, time after high school. And after quitting the job and, quitting my job, I already kind of knew how to design. And I was already in the process of starting my business. So when I said, you know what, I'll quit. And before I quit that job, I told my mom, I'm like, Mom, come inside. I need you to have a word. My mom always had my back.
Okay.
Always. Right? Always had my back. So I had my mom come in there and she had, she said a few words to them. And I walked off. And in my head, I'm thinking, you know what? Y'all want to fire me? I'm gonna make more than everybody's salary that works there. Everybody. And I took it personal because I was such a good worker. Like I really enjoyed that job. Like that was probably my favorite job. It was. I was teaching, I was helping, like, I feel like that's my purpose. And I felt so connected doing that like, I just knew, like, some way, somehow I'm gonna be reconnected to this in the future. But keep listening, it gets better. So I quit my job and I thought to myself, I'm about to make more than everybody's salary in this MF. You know what I'm saying? And it's so crazy because a month later, after having to quit or whatever, or 2 months later, I started my business. And when I started my business, I made $400 in the same day. But most of my sales were from people that I knew, family, friends, whatever. And after making that $400, which is what I was making like a month from working there, I'm just like, wow, I'm gonna be rich. And then, are you with me? Like, are y'all with me right now? Because this is about to get really freaking sick. After making that $400, the rest of the remainder of the year, babe, that business idea went to like, yeah. It didn't make any money for me for the rest of the year. So after I really felt like, yeah, I'm about to be rich, I made my paycheck in a day, right? My monthly earnings in a day. That's when it clicked to me though. I knew, wow, this internet money is real. I have talent. I have an idea. I acted on it, and I could really do this. But the rest of the year, guys, my sales started to drop. There was a month that I didn't make one sale. There was a month where I only made $60. And this entire time I'm struggling to figure out how can I get back to that $400 sales mark. And I'm just like, bro, how am I ever going to get rich? How am I ever going to succeed if I can't even get a damn sale for my business? And I struggled for 9 months straight. I struggled. And the biggest key here on why I struggled is because I didn't have good resources for my company. I had a friend, and one of my friends didn't really want to put me on to one of his clothing vendors. And it's so crazy because he had a good vendor, and he gave me the shitty one. The shitty one that charged a lot, took 8 weeks to process clothing and all that good stuff. And they screwed me over. I had to wait 2 months to get my clothes made. And when I finally got the clothes made, it was over. I made my $400 and it was like, peace, deuces, figured out. Your business is not gonna pop off today. And I sat there for 9 months just struggling, guys. Like designing, trying to make logos for people, trying to scrape up any kind of money that I can. I would do pre-orders for people, and I would literally do a pre-order for like $35. Right, just to put the order into my manufacturer, right? Then the order will cost like $15, and I basically like break even, and then shipping costs and all that stuff. Like I was just doing anything that I could just to keep the business flowing. I was dropping pictures on Instagram, wasn't getting any likes. I only had like 300, 400 followers. Nobody was interacting, nobody was shopping, right? I would just try to do anything that I can to just try to succeed and try to catch a flow, catch a rhythm, and nothing was working. And imagine my mental state at that time, that I was going through mental hell, right? And I'm about to start this business, and I'm so hyped. I feel like I'm about to shit on everybody because they shitted on me, and then boom, I got shitted on by myself. Like I thought it was sweet, and then everything came crashing down. And in that moment, I faced myself. I faced myself in the mirror, and it's like when you are at a point when everything comes crashing down, when you're at a point where you're just like facing, the wall, it's just you and your back against the wall, right? You will either meet a new side of you, right? Or you will fall down. right?
Fall down.
If you're anything like me and you have a thought of the future, of a bright future for yourself, right? And you know that you are capable and you know that you want to live a certain life, you have it in you to defeat, all the hardships when your back is against the wall. It's in you.
Right.
Because as long as you have that vision that you could see more for yourself, right, you have the power to execute it. And I was stuck in that moment. And on the 9th or 10th month, right, of my business going to shit, nothing working, nothing progressing, one of my other friends that was partners with my friend that gave me the shitty vendor said, hey, here's the vendor. I'm not gonna hold it back from you. Here's the vendor. Here's the good vendor. And once I finally got my hands on a good resource, right,
she took off with
that
it.
vendor made me a tracksuit. And once that tracksuit got made, I posted it on Twitter. And I only had enough money to order 12 pieces because I had to use my financial aid money that I got back to buy the clothing. I didn't have any income coming in. The graphic designing stuff wasn't really cutting it for me because I wasn't getting a lot of clients. I didn't know how to properly market the best. It's just so crazy how once I got my hands on a good resource, I was able to make better products. And after making my tracksuit, right, a glow tracksuit, holographic tracksuit that when you put your flash on it, right, right? The crazy thing is that once I put that whole design together, I posted a video on Twitter and it got like 900 to 1,200 likes. And that to me was viral. It's not viral, but it was viral for me at the moment. And I sold out all 12 pieces. And to make matters worse, better, my manufacturer actually sent me the wrong color design. So the design was kind of screwed. But people said, I don't care, I want it. I want to buy it. And once I got that little momentum, it was over. It was over. When I tell you it was crunch time, it was crunch time. I'm like, yes, I know I have what it takes. And all I needed was that little boost. Like, sometimes all you need is a little push. And the biggest part for me after having that moment was that I finally cracked, over $1,500 in sales. And for that entire year of 2019, guys, my business only earned me $3,700. Could you last a year with only earning $3,700?
No.
You could not survive. You could not survive. And the fact that through all that resilience, I chose to not fall when my back was against the wall. And I just feel like I had so much pride within myself. Pride that I didn't want to be a person that just starts something and just quits it. I didn't give a shit how long it would take. I knew I cannot quit. I'm not gonna give my haters a satisfaction. I'm not doing that. I don't care. So fast forward, I finally cracked 1,500 in sales. And I got the little momentum that I needed to just blast off. And from that point on, I dropped a new color. I started working on my marketing. I started focusing on my audience. And a lot of people don't realize that starting a business, a lot of people fail to realize that a business is successful when they focus on their customers and their customers' needs and their audience. If you shop with Nike more than one time, right, they are paying attention to you and they're giving you what you want and what you need. That's how companies really fulfill and maintain a business, because you could have one customer that can shop with you forever. I've been shopping with Nike since I was damn near 3 years old, and I wasn't shopping, my parents was, but Nike has been in my family for years.
This is really inspiring and motivating.
They focus on their audience, they focus on their customers,
anything is possible.
And they keep pushing. They keep pushing. They don't stop. They keep pushing. So when I started having these consistent sales months for my company, right, I went from my first $3,000 a month to my first $7,000 a month, and then $10,000 a month, and then boom, I cracked 20K. And I started to think 20K. Like, is this real? Like, there's no way that this is real. But it was real. And I kept posting on Twitter, Instagram, and I just kept posting, creating new things, staying consistent, and paying attention to what my audience liked. My audience liked tracksuits. So what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna, derive them from tracksuits and start dropping hats. I'm gonna feed them what they want. And I'm gonna keep making new variants, better quality, and just keep leveling up the experience for them overall. And what did that bring me in return? It brought me more customers, more happy customers, more orders, more repeating customers, and my business started to grow at a very big rate, at a steady pace too. And after I hit that $20,000 a month, I started to learn more about what catches the attention of others. And I learned something very crucial in my journey to $1 million. The biggest thing that I learned was that where attention goes, money flows. Because I figured when it comes to having a business online, right, you're gonna wanna keep up with the new songs, the new trends, and keep your audience's attention. And once I grasped that product, I was able to keep going viral, going viral, going viral, going viral. I knew what people wanted to see. I knew how to get people's attention. I knew how to market clothes. I knew how to do what I do best, and that's getting people's attention. I am very good at getting people's attention. When it comes to Instagram, marketing, business, I know how to properly market a company. And by learning this, which unfortunately took me a very long time, it also was kind of natural because I study things like psychology, or I study people. I study people all the time. Whether we're having a conversation, whether you're my mom, you're my sister, I just kind of study people. I'm a big observer. So things like this came natural for me. And shortly after going viral plenty of times, I had one moment and I posted a video of people rotating, right? A group of people lined up, and I had them all in different colors. And I figured if somebody sees this on their phone and I say, hey, everybody turn at the same time, right? Somebody's gonna see this and they're gonna be like, wow, that's different. It's gonna catch their attention. And it exactly did that. And that same month, I made my first $100,000 a month.
She made her first
just by learning and marketing a product online. And from that moment on, my life has never been the same. I'm like, Mom, I got some good news for you. Check your Zelle, because I just sent you $10,000. And I noticed, like, if you have a good product, you have good marketing, you have a good strategy, you have a good system, you cannot lose with your online business. So if you want to start an online business, guys, you're in the right place, because this type of story will let you know that you are literally just one post, one idea, one product, one winning product away from changing your entire life. And I will say, after cracking my first $100,000 a month, I did it again the next month, and then the next month, and consistently for the rest of the year, right? And out of all my sales added up, I started my business in 2019. I only made $37. And then in 2020, I made $500,000. Crazy enough. I did that at only 20 years old. I made $500,000. And my life was never the same. I never had to worry about the bill at a restaurant anymore. I never had to worry about waking up and being stressed that I'm gonna miss my job or miss work. I stopped having to worry about financial issues or things of that sort. I started to feel more free. I started to feel more relief. And people say money doesn't buy happiness, but I will say money can buy you peace sometimes. You know, money can allow you to help others. Money can allow you to learn more. Money can give you lessons. It can give you abundance to create memories with the people that you love, ability to help out your parents, you know, help out your family, or if a friend's in need, here you go, I got you, you're covered. And you shouldn't view it as if it's gonna ruin your life.
Right.
And a lot of people are afraid of what will happen if they get money or if they get too successful.
Right.
People get afraid of that, and I'm here to tell you, money allows you to do very good things in the world. For people, for yourself, for your family. It's important. And you can always use it to make somebody else's life better. And I really truly feel like if you are somebody that knows that you want to live a big, abundant lifestyle, you're meant for a bigger life, and if you made it this far in the video, you're here for the right reason. And you're listening for the right reason right now. I want to let you know, you're just going to have to make a decision. And you're going to have to make the decision literally today. And you're gonna have to start changing the way that you think, your habits, what you do. You're gonna have to stop rewarding your bad behavior too. And I feel like, you know, after a long day of work, right? And you come home, guys, and you're like, I had a long day, let me go have a smoke, let me go have a drink. You don't deserve it. Do you have $10,000 saved? Do you have $5,000 saved? Did you save up $100, right, for the week? Stop rewarding. When you learn to stop rewarding your bad behavior, you start to get more into a loop of positive reinforcement and positive attributes to your daily life. And that's the main thing that I was also doing. I stopped watching Netflix. I stopped watching TV. I consumed myself that summer after quitting Kids Foot Locker. I consumed myself on YouTube with self-improvement videos. So the fact that you guys are here goes to show that you're on the same path as me. And you have the potential to also earn 6 figures this year. And even next year, whenever you do decide to make that switch. And you're gonna make the switch and decide, do I want to live a better life? And let me ask you right now, like, do you want to live a better life? Yes. Are you ready to aim towards a better life for yourself?
I'm ready.
Yes or no?
I'm
yes.
ready.
Do you feel like your life would be easier if you had more financial freedom to move around and, you know, live your life and help the other people around you? Do you feel like your life would be more enhanced and a little bit more free? Yes. You know, if you answered yes to all those questions, I feel like it's time for you to do something new for yourself. Like, let this be a sign to start a new revelation or a new path for yourself. And if you don't figure out a way to make money in your sleep, you will work until you die.
About this video,
the moment that I figured out how to make money in my sleep, that's the moment that I went from $0 at Kids Foot Locker, right, $6, $7 paychecks, right, then going to in debt, right, then making only $3,000 in a year, and then to $500 million, and in 2021 I made $1.2 million, right?
Proud of
it. All happened in under 3 years. It happened pretty easy the moment that I decided to make the switch. And that switch was, I stopped rewarding my bad behavior. I started putting myself into solely and spending my money on things that bring me more money, number one. Spending my time on things that will improve my life and likelihood and likely me and livinghood, right? So I made a switch. And if you answered yes to those questions, it is time for you to start something new. This could be a new business, right? A new skill, right? A new job, or, you know, a new path. And if you are ready for a new path and you're watching this right now, I highly advise that you maybe take a look into something that could always be popular, something that will always be around. And the reason why I started my business was because, you know, clothing is always going to be around, guys. And having a business like this allows me to have longevity in the game. I'm able to have a business that's always going to be around because we're always going to be wearing clothes. Always, almost always when you go outside, you're going to see people wearing clothes. Unless you go to the beach. And that's okay. So if you have any interest in starting your own business and you're watching this like, well, damn, I want to start something new, but I don't know where to start, I will help you. Matter of fact, screw it, I will mentor you. And I will mentor you in a hands-on experience, right? I'll give you live trainings. I'll hold your hand from start to finish, and I will give you an opportunity of what I've never done before on my YouTube channel, mentoring some of my subscribers. And I won't be able to mentor all 14,000 of you